Of course, there will be a lot at stake when the Southern Kings hosted the Sharks in a Super Rugby match in Port Elizabeth. This happened later on today. The Sharks need points to keep championship hopes alive. On the other hand, the Kings, though no longer challenging for the honours, need a win to satisfy their supporters who are expected to come in big numbers. And in another match, Blues won by 50 points, 25 against the Free State Cheeters in Eden Park. The Emirates Lions produced an exceptional defensive performance to sneak home a 13-6 win over the Brumbies in their Vodacom Super Rugby match in Canberra on Friday, ensuring they ended their tour on Australia unbeaten. To talk rugby with us this morning, we are joined in the studio by SABC sports journalist Thando Mxoli. Thando, good morning and welcome.
Morning, Maruma.
We are called the Just Wearers, so I guess there we are. It's been an interesting one. We were chatting now not so long ago that you were up until the early hours of this morning, celebrating really, but you were celebrating more football this time around.
Yes.
Let's talk about the Lions. Stunning performance.
I don't know if it was a stunning performance. I was watching that game. It was tough on the eye because they never really created the kind of play we expected from them. But it's a good result for them. They've won all 3 games in Australia, and the coach will be happy with that.
The Cheeters. Is it now playing on the minds of the players that chances are in the next season they won't be part of the Super Rugby, hence we see such dismal performance? No, I mean, this is in 2 consecutive weekends.
No. It shouldn't be like that. We've got a Springbok national coach coaching the Cheeters. You expect them to put in a decent performance and make a case for themselves. Because the way I understand it, even though they won't be included as a team in Super Rugby next year, they might be part of another franchise. Now, you need to have a decent stake in that franchise, and you do that by producing on the field of play.
Yeah. Now, of course, I spoke about an interesting one, the Southern Kings playing Sharks out in the windy city of Port Elizabeth. Who's your money on?
Obviously, the Kings. Don't
go with the Kings because they're the boys from your home province.
The last time those 2 teams played, they lost because of a player from the Eastern Cape, funny enough, Kerwin Bosch. He's not going to be around this time around. The Kings are on the upward curve at the moment. They are playing really, I think for me, they are playing the best rugby in the country in terms of attack. They need to sort out their defense, which they've shown in the last couple of matches that they are improving in that aspect. The Sharks have got Patrick Lambie back, which is great for the country. Yeah. But still, I still think the Kings at home, with that extra man being the crowd, I think.
Do you think even though they don't have much to play for, will they still even go all the way?
They do have much to play for, Marumo, because like I explained earlier, even though you're not going to exist as the Kings, you're going to exist somewhere. Now, for you to have...
So you need to make sure that wherever you exist, you have that impact still.
Exactly.
Let's talk about what you consider the game of the weekend. Which game is that and why so?
Well, the Kings game is a make or break for them, for both teams, in terms of going forward into the season. The Sharks have had indifferent results, but funny enough, they play better away from home than at home. They also need to start winning more consistently. The Kings, if they lose now, they lose a whole lot of momentum, and that they've worked very hard together ever since the announcement was made that they won't exist as the Southern Kings next year.
Just to wrap it up, the Blitzbokke are currently doing the work out in Paris. And everyone is expecting them to wrap it up, really, to be crowned this season's championship. Do you see it happening?
Yeah. Well, look, I don't know if we'll win it, but we could get to the final with this team. It's good enough. It's nice to see Roscoe Speckman back into that sevens fold again. We should be okay. I believe this is the weekend where we'll be celebrating many good things. Speaking
of being okay, the national team that's going to participate in the upcoming Rugby World Cup has been announced. The draw was made, actually. How do you see us performing there, given the fact that we up against some really big rugby playing nations?
We definitely are, but we've got the talent. That's the one thing we must never underestimate in this country. We are blessed with talent at all levels. The problem has always been coaching and tactics. If we get that right, then we should be fine.
Well, fine. I hope that's how things will end up for the national team. In that ever so interesting, of course, coming World Cup later on in, that's next year, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's next year. Of course, that's SABC sports journalist Thando Mxoli joining us to talk some rugby.